Hello, everybody. Welcome to my PC build live stream. All my stuff just arrived today, so I'm gonna get into building it in just a second. Just letting you guys know, I am using parts from my old PC that I bought that are all pretty much brand new. And you'll see the new stuff I bought. And I'm gonna go ahead and live stream. I'm not gonna be building it in here. I'm actually be building it in the other room. So give me 1 second, guys, and we'll be over there in just a sec. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and get going. Go ahead and plug in my phone real quick. 1 second. Let me go ahead and switch. There we go. All right, guys, so here's what I've got so far coming in to starting with the PC build. I have the Crystal Series 570X Corsair RGB white case, as well as more RGB fans. The SP120s, same ones that come with there. There's 3 that come in there. There's 3 more in this box. As well as cable mod cables. Really great cables, guys. If you ever want to order a set of cables, be sure to do that. As well as just a set of latex gloves to handle the glass. And then just a boring little cable for HDMI to DisplayPort. And of course, the MSI Armored GTX 1070. It's not the 1080 or the 2080. It's kind of plain Jane 1070. It's white. That's why it's the Armor series. There it is right there. And we'll see it more out of the box when I go to unbox it. But for right now, we're going to be putting together the case. That'll be the first thing we'll do, is getting the case put together, getting it ready to go so we can use it. I'm trying to find a spot to set my phone up. Here we go. All right. Perfect. We'll go ahead and start unboxing the case so you can look at it. There I go, kicking my phone over again. As you can see, Corsair ships it in a protective little covering, just to protect the glass from being scratched up and getting smudges and stuff on it. But before I take that out of the package, I'm going to go ahead and grab out a set of latex gloves, just to make sure we don't smear it up. As you guys can see, I really do have my gloves on. I wasn't joking about the gloves. And I believe it's already put together, which I didn't expect that. I expected it to not be put together. Okay, so that's the bottom. Yeah, it's already put together. Awesome. I didn't pay for that. I was intending to put it together myself. But I'm not complaining. And there we are, guys. There is the Corsair 570X case. Very beautiful, we'll add. It's got your normal seven removable slots, more cable routing. There's more stuff on the back like that. Like I said, it comes with 3 SP120 fans. That little label right there actually does light up white, which is pretty cool. As well as just more cable routing and stuff like that. An area for fans up here. And of course the one in the back. I actually should have bought 2 more fans to replace the ones that are on my air cooler, CPU cooler, but I didn't. I'm gonna be getting a Corsair cooler some point in time, somewhere in the next couple months, hopefully. Anyway, guys, move on. I'm not going to take any of the plastic off yet until it is actually in position, and then I will more than likely take off the plastic. I may leave it on if I don't mess up the plastic too much, but I doubt I'll leave it on. I'll probably end up taking it off anyway. But I'm going to go and set the phone back down and start removing the screws to the top, the bottom. I'm not going to remove the front or the back yet until I get to that, but I need to remove the top so I can get the fans put in place and the sides so I can get everything else put in there, of course. And I'll probably end up having to take the back off anyway real quick for the standoffs. Oh, they're already in. Never mind. So I don't think we'll have to, but I'll probably take it off anyway. And of course, I will put it all on this cover that is behind me so it doesn't mark up the glass at all. Anyway, I'll go and put this back in position. Perfect. And these should only be hand tight, and they are. And there's a little tiny screws that they come with. They're not very big at all. Nice and tiny. Works. I'm going to scratch the shit out of it first off the bat. Oh, that's interesting. going to pull that back one off yet. I'll pull this one off. And it's a magnetic air cover too, which is nice. Little tiny magnets in the very corner. Right there, right down here, and of course all on the area, as well as a mesh covering. Alright, one take gloves off. I'll just toss them in the box because I'm not going to put those ones back on now that they've been taken off. Right off the bat, I'll go right for the box of SP120 RGB fans from Corsair. Right off the bat, really should have brought my pocket knife. That would have been handy. Grab a knife real quick. Alright, I got a knife. Be able to open this box finally. I don't know why, but this runny nose just literally started right when I started this goddamn stream. It sucks. God. There we go. As you can see, there is 1, 2, 3 fans, and then a fan controller, which I don't know why I ordered. It was part of the box set, so there was no way I was gonna. It was like, I don't know, like $70 for the fans or $60 for this set, so I just picked up the set. So, first things first, we'll go ahead and open up this tiny, tiny little package, which should have, hopefully, screws in it. The screws are in here. Nope. Maybe. Are they in here? No. There they are. 1, 2, 3 sets of screws. This little tiny RGB controller thingy. And then a 1 to 3 fan slot thing, I think is what that is. Not exactly know. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. I just want to get these put in real quick. So, go ahead and do every one of these. I'm so sorry for the running nose, you guys. I can't help it. I don't have allergies or anything, so I don't know what started this. Whatever. Okay, so what slot? Sit down. Pretty nice. God, it's annoying. I'm so sorry for this runny nose, you guys. It's really pissing me off. I'm gonna open up the directions manual real quick. Oh, that thing comes off. Come off pretty easily. No, it's just unscrewing. I'm not going to unscrew the fan tray. There's no point. Those fans are already installed. Might as well just install these ones. So these are all intake. So I want exhaust fans. So I'm going to want to put them in like so. The way it's expelling air out. As well as that one getting put in like so. So it does the same thing. Sucks the air out. This running nose is so fucking annoying. Alright, well, I have to decide how I want to put the fans in. So let me think about that for a second, you guys. How I want to put those in. I don't know if I want to do it all intake and one exhaust or just half and half. Haven't really decided that one yet. Read the manual. Oh, I better turn on the light. I decided we're going to do exhaust, 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 intake, intake, intake. It just makes the most sense to me. So I'll get the first set of screws ready and get those installed. Okay. Awesome. That first screw in. There we go. How much space we have? I have to do my motherboard first. But we'll have to do the motherboard first. Yeah, I probably should do the motherboard first anyway. So let me go get my other PC real quick and take that apart. Holy crap. It's been a while since I cleaned this thing. That's disgusting. Well, looks like I'm going to be cleaning my PC at the same time taking everything apart. Yeah, that's disgusting. Anyway. Unslot all the RAM. pins at all. I'm going to leave the cooler on as well because I'm not going to take that off. I don't have any cementing paste. Jesus Christ. Thermal paste. I don't have any thermal paste. So I'm not going to take that off at all. Just because I don't want to have to put any more on. I don't have any. Not going to happen. Normally in this case, when I'm cleaning my PC, I always do just because of that reason. That I know for a fact it's going to need to get replaced. I know it needs to get replaced. I will replace it eventually here pretty quick. Here pretty quick, I will replace it, I promise. Because I know it needs to get done. It hasn't been done for about 6 months or so. So I know it's going to be getting close to needing to get done if, Anyway, I'll pull off the fans to clean it. Matter of fact, I can do that as soon as I get all my fans unplugged and I get my motherboard out. I need a screwdriver. Most people would use a drill. Not a great idea. Not because you'll strip out a screw, but a drill puts off static electricity, or can put off static electricity. So, not really the greatest idea when you're doing something like this. When you're working with devices and stuff that are really super sensitive to static electricity. Like, well, I'm assuming if you're tuning into this, you are a PC builder of some sort. If you're not, it's okay, but you know exactly why you don't screw with a drill in these. There it is. Oh, I took that the wrong one, didn't I? Yep. Duh. I guess it's not the wrong one because it would have caught there. Anyway. So that's out. I'm just going to set that under here for now because I know that I'm not going to. I'll clean that when I'm off the video. Yeah, it's disgusting. That seriously needs to get cleaned badly. Okay, next thing, we'll have to take off the fan. That one's out. cables. The only thing I didn't order was SATA cables. That's the only thing I forgot to order with Cable Mod was the SATA cables. So those will come soon sometime. And then all I do is pop off the case and replace them. It's not like it's that hard to replace those. So it'll look kind of funky with just 2 red cables in there and black and white for the rest of it. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. Jam that through just a little bit so it's out of our way. I guess we'll go there. Don't think there's a DVD slot. Nope. And once I put everything in that case, I'll have to actually plug this DVD drive in. I forgot to make sure there's a CD in there, and I'm probably correct. There is one in there. Okay, I believe that's everything. So now I'll just back up a little bit and lay this case down. Take the back off. Screw. Second screw. And I am using a magnetic screwdriver as well. Makes your life a hell of a lot easier. So I'd highly recommend that you guys pick up one that's magnetic if you're going to do stuff like this, because boy, it made a difference for me. I'll tell you that much. This screw wants to sit here and fight me and try to get out of the hole. There we go, got it. And periodically, if you move around on carpet like what I'm doing, make sure you guys always touch the middle part of your case. Get rid of static electricity, just to help not risk, you know, completely wrecking your. Put the CPU cable on top. I'll unplug that real quick. And very carefully take your motherboard out. Don't drop it. There we go. going to do is carefully set it right there for a second. Stand up. And all I'm going to do is real quick pop off the fans. These really nifty little cable things, or hook things. There we go, one fan's off. Second fan's off. As you can see, guys, that is not good. That's what happens when you're away for a couple of months and don't fire your PC up, and then you fire your PC up. All the dust that's settled just gets sucked right into your air cooler. So if you're getting hotter temperatures and stuff, your first bet's usually always your air cooler is clogged up with stuff. And that, my friends, is a really clogged air cleaner, radiator. And it looks like, as I'm looking inside, though, that nothing has reached the inside of it. It's just all on the outside. So I'll just go grab a quick damp, barely damp cloth. Clean that. I'm going to take both these fans over here and clean them real quick. I will be right back, guys. Actually, I'll just take it with me. Alright, guys. Oh. Come on now. That's good enough. So all I did was set it on the counter, and there's already dust on the counter. Obviously, not the greatest thing. But all you just take them carefully. I like to wipe down the cables as well. Just clean them up a little bit. They're going inside a brand new case, so I don't want dirty cables inside a brand new case. And then what I do is I just run my finger along the edge of the fan. Just to clean out the inside a little bit here and there. Obviously, you don't want a soaking wet cloth. You want just a nice, barely wet cloth to pick up the dust and not leave behind water that'll collect even more dust. So, like I said, I just carefully run along the fins, along the inside of the fins, back of the fins. Just try to get the dust off a little. I don't have any spray air. Or I would just take these outside and spray them. I have to now just wipe them down by hand. So they're not going to be the cleanest. But it'll last for a little while until I need to do another clean. What's nice about having a see-through case is I can actually tell when I need to clean it. I don't have to pull off the panel and check all the parts. I can just literally look over, say, oh man, it looks alright, or oh, it really needs to get cleaned. Like I said, hard to do it anyway, but I was away on work for a few months, which is why I wasn't uploading. Didn't have my PC with me. So I was away on work, and yeah. bearings sound good, so that's good. There's a ticking that I know is one of these fans. I just don't remember which fan it is. This one in my hand, I think. Yep. See how it just kind of comes to an abrupt stop? As I know this one's bad, because the bearing should spin and then come and kind of shake back and forth like that, not just abruptly stop. So this bearing in this one is kind of shot, and I'm going to need to get a replacement eventually. Which, you know, I was going to get a replacement for it, but now that I think about it, I'll be getting a new air cooler, water cooler Corsair one, so I'm not even going to bother. Some of the reviews that I read, though, state that the case is a little louder, so with having a bad bearing on this case, I don't know. But that's what that rumbling you guys hear in the background, all my videos, that's what that is. It's this bearing that just slowly and quietly rumbles. And like I said, I know it's this fan, nothing else, because I actually took all the fans out one by one, put them all in, nothing. Or plugged it in, fired it up, shut it back down repeatedly. Nothing happened until I plugged in this, so then I actually took and plugged in each CPU fan individually and found which one it was. So yeah, but the Corsair one that I'm going to get is RGB as well. It'll match right up with RGB fans in here, so that'll be cool. And then I believe that one comes with actually HD 120s, and I might just replace those with SP 120s, so that way they're all the same. I don't know if there's a big difference between the different make and models. I guess different models, but I don't know at all. I'm assuming that the SP 120s are probably. I think it comes with HD 120s. I believe the SP 120s and HD 120s, they'll run together, but I believe they have a different setup, I guess, like RGB difference. I don't know. I just like to try to order all the same fans just because you get the same style LED, same style everything else, and nothing of the, you know, extra stuff that you don't want. But there we go, guys. Fan number 1 is cleaned up. And you can see, even with the difference. Yes, I know this is a total off-brand. I shouldn't say off-brand. It's just not. It's an off-brand for my PC because my PC is all MSI and Corsair. And then there's an Enermax air cooler in it, but that was because at the time I didn't have the money to buy a really nice air cooler because I spent it all on the new motherboard and all of the other stuff. So I just bought this really, really, really quick, really cheap. Not really cheap, but pretty decently cheap compared to the one I want to get, which is the MSI one. And I believe the MSI one I'm going to get Corsair fans on because the MSI one is a silver and red, while the rest of my build, as you can see by the case, is actually a white and black build. And, yeah. So I don't exactly want to just get any air cooler. I want a white and black one, or a black one, or a white one. That's why I ordered this. It's white, with white LEDs. But it's not RGB, of course, it's just white LEDs. So, for now, until I get my new one, which... on the new Corsair water cooler, I believe the fans don't light up. It's just the actual cooler piece on the CPU there, where the thermal paste hits or touches. On the heat sink. I believe that's the only part that actually lights up. So that's why I want to get the SP120 fans on it, so that way that all of it lights up. I think that'd be really cool. And so that's my goal. My goal eventually. It's, I guess I'm just trying to clean this as quick as possible, but also get it as clean as possible. And I'm really having a tough time because now almost all of this rag is dirty. So here, after I get my wiping this fan down, I'll have to wash it before I go down there, and I'll have to wash it before I go down there and start cleaning the motherboard and cleaning the RAM and all the other pieces. And then I'll clean off the PSU and install that. But I try to clean this as fast as possible, guys, for you, just to make it as quickly as possible. I'm just doing a quick little finish. I'm just going to completely soak this rag, just ready all that stuff up, and then I'll wring it out. It's really, really dirty. And that is how dirty my PC was. I'm not really that happy about it. I just forgot to clean it when I came back. And I didn't think that much dust would be in there. I even checked the top of the fans. I just never opened the case because I figured, well, if the top of the fans aren't that bad, the rest of it won't be that bad. I won't be worried about it. But I was wrong. And I mean, there was, of course, a little bit of dust in the top, which I expected because I was gone for 2 months in a room that no one really went in. So, of course, it had dust on it when I came back, so I had to, I dusted a little bit. Cleaned up things a little bit. So I wasn't that worried about it. But I made sure that I always make sure I wring this out really well, because a lot of water, or even a little water, is not a good thing. But I can tell there's some dust left on these. That's why I cleaned it real quick, just to get a clean spot to be able to finish it up real quick. There we go. And then, of course, I get the outside real quick. And then I'll actually go over the other fan as well, again, just to make sure it's really nice and clean. Nothing else is affecting it, but this one is 100% done. And this one just needs a little quick cleaning on the top. And a few of the fins again. There we go, all cleaned up. I'll get the outside again just to make sure it's done perfectly. And actually, I just noticed that I didn't do these little corners right here. So I'm certain I'll end up redoing that here in a second. Make sure it's all good to go. Alright. Counter real quick. Now, head back out to the living room. Oh. I don't know how I managed to jam the cable in there. That's weird. There we go. That was a little strange. Don't know how I managed to do that. Alright, guys, let's go ahead and walk back out here. Not step on any of this stuff. We'll go around. Mess of blankets everywhere. All right. I'll go ahead and plug my phone back in. Perfect. Now I'm not gonna focus too much time on the motherboard because it looks pretty good. It just, it was just a fan part. I'll clean up some of it, but I don't want to get too close to the pins, connectors, stuff like that that'll bend and break. That's why it's really important to get air cleaner. That way you don't have to get too close and touch the motherboard. It won't be the cleanest job in the world either, because it's kind of a pain to clean the radiator because of the little tiny pins on it. They always stand out, and I'll bend those because they bend pretty easy. And unfortunately, it does look, now that I'm looking at it, it does look like that some of the air or some of the dust was did get into the radiator, guys, but I can't get in there and clean it without the air. But I'm not running high temperatures at all. I'm actually staying really, really, really cold. Not super cold, but pretty cold. On idle, I'm running at 17, and at max load, I'm only running at like 22 degrees Celsius. Last time I checked. That was a while ago, though. So I don't know what I'm running at now. But it looks like the rest of it is not bad at all. So I'll go ahead and just mount this. So I'm actually going to go over on the opposite side over there, turn the case around, tip it over, put the motherboard in, and then we'll put the fans in after that. But because I stood up, I touched the case to make sure I undo any electricity that may have done anything. Carefully set that up here. Okay, now this thing off the floor. He's out of the way. Down that direction. I'm actually going to turn this case around, like I said. And then I'm going to place this thingy behind it. Actually, no. I'll just take off the glass. I guess it does have the plastic on it, so I won't worry about putting a glove on yet. It's a hell of a case. I like it a lot. I honestly think, well, this is the best case I've ever had. Ever. That's my old case. Only computer I ever had is this one. So I don't know much about cases. I can just tell you that this case, this glass, it's a beauty. And I didn't say this before, but there's actually a spot where the screws go in that are actually countersunk, or I should say stick out. There's nubs to actually hold the glass in place. So when we undo all the screws, the glass doesn't just fall off. It actually takes a little bit of force to get them off, which is a good thing. All right. I really like that aspect of it. What the hell is that? There's a box in the back of here, guys, so we'll get to that in a second. Don't know what that is. We'll get to that once the motherboard's mounted. Right. And it's now sitting flat on the ground. There's a removable air filter on the bottom of the case, as well as two nice rubber stop grip things. So let's go ahead and first off the bat, it looks like all of the, yeah. Excuse me. All of the, how are they called? I've got the word in my head. All the, I can't think of the name. Off stands or motherboard stands, something or another. The thingamabobber. This motherboard already has, or this case has them in place, which I believe is pretty normal. And it looks like they line up with that motherboard. Where's the screwdriver? Alright. Let's undo this. And we'll go ahead and unravel all of this. Get that out of the way for now. We'll get that one over here. Alright, that should all be out of our way now. Once again, that's the case. Make sure you don't static off of us. And I want to get this thing laid in place. And, before I do that, I actually have to put that out. Put that in. Not dusty at all, so that's good. Pull it off like that. So, flip it around. There we go. Come on. Oh, does it sit on the outside? No, it shouldn't. It should go right on the inside. There it goes. In there? Yep, I think so. Okay, there it's in there. Here it popped. Alright, that's in place. Perfect. Last time. Hopefully this time motherboard will sit in there the way it's supposed to. Perfect. It's seated in there. Go ahead and get the first screw on the outside over here put in first. Take a little bit of pressure. Kind of force it up against there. Take the screwdriver. You always want to make sure you don't tighten these either. Just get them nice and snug. I'm gonna screw them in horribly far. That's how you strip screws out, snap motherboard components, crack the motherboard corners, break them off, stuff like that. Nice and snug. Should just sit down in there. There it goes. Oh, pull back out. No. Last time too, right? Stuck in there backwards. There you go. Not backwards, but just cockeyed. Go. Alright. Now there's only two left. That doesn't seem right. I thought I had 6 or 7. 6 there. For some reason, my motherboard only came with 6. Goes through your end. I'll put one up here, and one in the corner or center down here. Now once I have all those screwed in, which I do, I always actually like to just touch the, or I guess tug a little bit, tiny bit on the motherboard, make sure it's actually in there and sitting properly. And it is, it's perfect. So the next thing that I'll do is I'll get the fans in place, get them, I won't plug them in quite yet, but I'll get them ready to go to get plugged in. And then the next thing that I'll do is I'll get the fans put in. Actually, I think that's the first thing I'll do before I put the fans in, is get all these fans in. So for now, I'm done with this. I'll go ahead. Set it out of the way. Get this motherboard up, or I guess take the whole computer out and turn it. And As you guys can see, motherboard's in. And now, I've got all the fans out, ready to get put in. Sucks air in, puts air out. Actually, I might do all intake just because I'm going to stare at the fans and I don't want to stare at that. So I decided I'll just put that's an air intake, that's air out. Air out. And then on the top, that'll be air in. Go ahead and lay them in. And it looks like they're going to sit in there just like that. So, next, I'll put, okay, so it's set all the way over the corner like that. That seems weird that it only covers. Oh, it's because it's built for a bigger fan. I guess I should have went with 140 on the top. No biggie though. No biggie though. No biggie though. So 2 fan screws are in a little bit sideways. I don't know if I like that or not. I want them to be as perfectly straight as possible. Let's go ahead and perfect. Mentioning that. Take that back out. I don't think these are the right ones. I think I've got the wrong screws. No, I've got the right one. Yep, that's weird. Okay. Let's make sure these actually sit in the way they're supposed to. Quick, before I get too far. Okay, they did. They just take a little extra oomph to get in. Alright, well, what I'm going to do first then, let's do one at a time and screw them in with my screwdriver. I'll go up to the top right first. It's in backwards or something. It's not going in the way it's supposed to. It's in there just a little ways, and then screw in, and next area. There we go. I would have thought they would slide in there really nice and easy. But it's not looking like they want to go in there either. Nice and easy. Which is why I originally suspected they were not the right ones, but they definitely seem like they're the right ones. Oh yeah, there you go. It takes a little bit of oomph to get it in there. So of course it's in there, but I'm going to leave it just a little loose so I can slide it back and forth, get it positioned perfectly the way I want it. It should not be that hard to get in there. So we'll go ahead and go that. Let's see if that makes a difference. Perfect. Those two are in. Nice couple screws. Maybe why they're on my screws. This is possible. Yep, so I've got two different kinds of screws then. That's awesome. I'm not ready to replace these other ones. Those ones that have some pretty cute. Nope. Not those kind. Those are those kinds. So I don't know where the other one is coming from. Those are the only screws I took out of the back, though, I thought. That's kind of weird. I mean, there's different kinds of screws here and there. That kind right there. So, I don't know what I do with the other. It's not like it's a huge deal because the fan that those screws were in is also a Corsair fan. So it's not like it makes a big, huge deal at all. First fan is in. Second fan getting it ready to go right now. Move that screw out of the way. And dump these ones right here. Oh, I forgot to position the cables the way I was going to run them. That one's fine. That one's straight out. And then this one will also get positioned this way. Alrighty, and that fan is in. So both the fans are in place now. I've got the cables running here and here. And like I said, I'll worry about cable routing in a little bit. Not at the moment. Not really. That's not my priority at this very second. Right before I install the fans, I'm going to go ahead and put the RAM in, and then I'll put the fans in after that. So I'm going to, of course, clean off the RAM. And then I'm going to make sure that they're all facing the correct way. It doesn't matter which way they go in, because they are all 32 gigabyte, 3200 megahertz Course of Vengeance. The only reason I'm putting them in certain ways is because they're two separate colors. And that's the only reason I'm putting them in a certain way, which is white, black. I mean, black, white, black, white. Just so that way it's symmetrical and looks nice. These are non-RGB, so eventually, hopefully, sometime down the road, I will upgrade to RGB RAM. But for the very second, they're not RGB at all. And that's just because when I believe when I bought these RAM, the RGB RAM was like just coming out, so new that nobody knew like if it was good or bad or whatever. Of course, when I go to upgrade, I'm gonna go for Corsair Vengeance, RGB RAM, more than likely. I might go for a different style. I believe these are LPX. Yep. And I just didn't realize that the plastic protective part of the RAM, the logo part is actually still on the RAM. Go, and last one. Perfect. There we go. So here's what we got so far, guys. We've got the motherboard in place. Motherboard. Get the radiator cooler in place. My RAM. 3 fans that came in it. And on the very underside, 2 of those as well. Last but not least, we got to get the back one in. And then I'll get the fans on. And then we'll start rolling on getting the graphics card put in, and then we'll start moving the cables and stuff. And I don't know if I'll show you guys that. I might just stop the live stream there, go ahead and do cables, get those in place, because that's going to take me the longest amount of time is to do the cables. Just because I'm super picky about that. I'm a huge cable freak. I don't like to see them unless I have to, kind of thing. I don't know, though, with these new cables I got, I might want to not run them the proper way. I'm kidding. And then, I forgot. I wasn't going to do this yet. Yeah, that'll be right. There's a storm brewing or something outside. So, of course, it sucks in air. But I think when I had it, there, I had it in there like that. Intake. Pause a second. Yeah, so it's got to go in this way because it's also intaking air that way. But I'm going to put it in there like that so the cables are on the back side. There's actually a spot for them to run. Oh, that's cool. There we go. Alright. We'll open up this bag. Set my screws down. And in my opinion, this is the easiest thing to do, is the fan on the back. Literally oh yeah, and then we got the PSU in too. I'm gonna wait till, I probably should put that in first. I get to it from the back. I can. In my opinion, guys, that putting the back fan on is like the easiest fucking thing of a PC build. Like that. Right? Yep. Oh, alright, we're not going to be able to run the cables that way because the cover's in the way. So it looks like I'm going to have to run it out the bottom. Oh wait, I want the logo to be facing the correct way. Yeah, I want the logo to be. Oh, it's going to be able to work now. that hard to get in. Like, seriously, they should not be that difficult. Before I get too far, let's go ahead and get this thing back in place. Kinda. And then we'll go ahead and get the next screw put in place as well. Like I said, this is tough, not being left-handed sometimes. God damn it. All I want to do is just slide this thing in. Probably could use a drill on the fans, honestly. This would be a less pain in the ass. Oh, fuck. Okay, is it in there a little bit? Yeah, it's in there a little bit. Let's get the other ones in, and then I'll just go get a drill real quick, which is actually over here on the counter. I figured I might need it, so I kept it out. And we'll get these drilled in just because of being such a pain. Alright, come on. You know what? I'll get the drill right now. I'll get this thing done real quick. Sorry, glass. And once you get past a certain point, it's really easy just because it gets through all the plastic. Oh, come on. There it goes. Alright, and then I'll screw it in the rest of the way. I just want to get past that plastic. Sucks is the only bad part about using the impact drill is I'm actually stripping out the screws a little bit, and I don't like to do that because I'm Strip screw is a pain in the ass. But it is what it is. Alright. 3 from there in. Okay, and that is it at the height I wanted at. Yes it is. Okay. Perfect. It's in there. And, okay, perfect. So it's in there. Now let's get the fans in like I said we would. Oh, that's cool. That's magnetic too. I didn't know that. Fan number 1. I'll try to find a bad fan and see if I put it towards the back. If it'll change the difference in sound at all. Taking this off, flip it around, so that way the cable's up on top. I can just go up and over and go right through the cable mounting holes. At least it's, I should say, not on top, but at the back. That's exactly right here. I want it. Perfect. Alright, and now, last but not least, where did I put this over here? This one. Same thing, positioned towards the back. For that reason, so I can actually, and love for it to be positioned back there like that. And then I always kind of line up the bottom a little bit, so that way it's, you can see it's even on there. To see it where you want it. Just put it on there. And actually, I move it back a little bit more. And I can't go back anymore because of the max. Come on. Why are you being so trouble? Alright. Before I put the graphics card in, guys, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit, just a tiny bit. Just move the cables up and around to where I'm going to put them. I find it easier to do some cable stuff before I put the before I put the graphics card in, I like to be able to just check to see. So we got all fan stuff here. Oh, that's the logo for the front. And probably all the controls up on top for that, I guess. So there's a lot of stuff in this case that I've actually never seen before. I've never had a logo that lights up on the front or on the side. Plugged in. Let's take that back out. Match that come up. Go to the top. And then run through up here. I'll reach all the way around now. I'm not going to find out. I don't know how the hell I've been getting my shoelaces into these dumb spots. I really don't know. I had my hand and then I moved my hand and I pulled it back out. There we go. And well, it won't work, it won't reach. We'll go right back through the same hole then. Along the top, over here. I'm gonna go and lay this back down. It's just easier for me, at least. Be able to do it like that. You know, be able to. So there's actually a nice little a track of some sort that I can actually run this through. How did I see it? I didn't see it before. I did just a second ago, so I'll go and pick this case back up. Get back to this hole. And then this track runs behind the motherboard. Back here for cable management. Comes out right there, which is perfect for CPU 2. And I guess, yep. Alright, yeah, that's perfect. And I can just feed it down. Perfect. That's good. It's nice. I'm actually going to run both of my fan cables for the back fan right along that same pathway. This can actually go right directly to CPU 2 and be plugged in. we go. And actually, I can actually do the same thing. I can do the same thing here. This cable. Give it the same swap, it's awesome. Bring on the back. Down the hole. Down to the same style. Jack. And then this up real quick. Back here. Right up. Through there. Which will come out right above CPU 1. Which perfect. That's done. I'll lay it back down again. So far, a little bit of keeping management. Down 1 gears for this. And of course, once I get all the other cables put in place, I will plug them all in and then pull the slack to the back. Everything is nice and snug and looks nice. It doesn't look like a bunch of stuff just thrown everywhere. And I think the nicest thing, guys, about this case is I can actually use my front USBs. On my old case, my brother, you know who you are, he actually was putting it in and bent the pins or something. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, he bent the pins, so I was never actually able to use the USB 3.0 or whatever on the old case. Anyway, guys, so far got all the cables put in, the 2 fans put in. I'm gonna work on getting the PSU put in, all the cables done, but I'm not gonna live stream that part because the cables can take me a long time to do, and you guys all know how to put in the graphics card, so I'm not gonna do that. Obviously, the graphics card goes in this little slot. 1 second. The graphics card goes in this slot right here. This little track, and then it'll push that closed. But for right now, it's open because I took the graphics card out of there. Y'all know how to do that, I think. And I'll show you guys a finished product when I'm done. I'll actually start up a live stream again, or just video it on my phone and then post it later of my build completed. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this live stream for me to start my PC build. It took me a lot longer than I wanted it to. I was hoping to actually be done with it by about this time, maybe be running cables, which I guess I'm okay on time. But anyway, you guys, thank you very much for joining me. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you, and have a great night, guys.